can't win, you can't break even, and you can't get out of the game. People keep saying things are gonna change, but they look just like they stay the same. You get in way over your head, and you only got yourself to blame. You can't win, child. Can't break even, can't get out of the game. Yeah.
I'm done with life, and it's all Jermaine's fault. It's always Jermaine's fault. I'm done.
Right. All the Jermaines in the house, stand up. Okay. And this is me punching the clock, but I think you guys will enjoy it. And it's always a good stream when Adric's number one. Shout out to Adric. Andre, bringing up the second place, Brian Shotgun. Carl Hudson, BGS is right. Okay. What does it say? What did little brother say?
Guys, the bottom line is this: BGS is right.
Okay. So, Hurricane Greg, what's up? Corey, Jeffrey, oh, Titan Blooded, what's happening? Toya with the Forbidden Apple. Jules, Jermaine shrugs. I got an idea for that. I haven't. I gotta tune up my image creator. I got an idea for Jermaine shrugs. Dusty Jermaine at that. Dave Tower, what's going on? Jermaine, my cousin. Okay. Pop Smoke, what's up? Ninja Person, Jermaine can't win, but everything, anything but green sauce and cheap cheese. Okay. John Jones, what's going on? Educated Pookie is getting their passport. That's what's up. Jay Powell, what's going on? Tyrone Bixby, what's going on? Cool Gamer, what's going on? Oh, Guns Machete, what's happening? Shannon Green, what's up? Dusty's a symbol. Okay. What is it? It's just like Avengers. Grab Eddie, what's happening? What's going on, Eddie? Excalibur, what's happening? Dante. Okay. Oh, much love. Appreciate you. Beef King, what's happening? JT. Judah's Lion, what's happening? Blade Runner. Sir Him. Instead of I'm him, Sir Him. Or Sir Me. OX, what's happening? Inside the square circle with King Judah. Okay. All right. A little Masonic little Masonic indication going on there. Chemistry. What's up, Chemistry? How's it going, man? Are you in the States or where you at? Shannon Green, what's happening? And Craig, okay, hanging out with the dust magnet. Hey, Craig, if you get a chance, man, weigh in on this Supreme Court ruling that's going to go on with the ballots, man, with trying to keep Trump off the ballot. Weigh in on, because I know this is your wheelhouse. So I know you've been thinking about it, man. So if you get a chance, drop a note, or I don't care if it's like 5 minutes, man. Just drop something about what's going on with Colorado, and I think it's Maine, and trying to keep Trump off the ballot. If for and against, what happens if they actually do? Supreme Court actually sides with him, allows it, or rejects it. What do you think, man? Because they keep trying to say insurrectionist, but he was never convicted because they cut that deal. So, anyway, just weigh in. You get a chance. Kareem, what's going on? Detroit? Oh, still stateside. Okay. All right. All right. Dusty, what's going on? Will IR? Art Newstill? Urban Naturalist, what's going on? Are you going to talk about it Friday night? Okay. All right. Compassionate Oos. That one you did on Warren Lance, man, on Pimp Guy. Okay, that short wasn't shit, but I had to put that one up. You ain't shit for that. Forever blessed. And A plus Tech. What's going on? I remember there was a guy. He had a businessman that fixed computers called A plus Tech. I don't know. I don't think you're that guy. But anyhow, let us get started. Oh, Lavers, what's going on, man? And the coach ready like button, y'all ain't shit. All Star G, what's happening? Anyway, let's go ahead and get started, man. So time's are wasting. Let me go ahead and find it. In fact, Passport OG just did a video on this this morning. So if you saw his stuff this morning, you'll know what I'm talking about. Let's see if we can find this. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. I just had it. Bear with me. I say teenage fathers, drug epidemic, Prospect Heights, African American. Here we are. You guys are probably going to like this. Let's pull it back, mute it up, and now we're going to share the screen. And I'll put the link to this in the description after the video. Okay, after the video. And as always, put a 1 in the chat if you can hear it.
It's 12 noon, and today we have a special half-hour edition of City Line. Hi, I'm Jackie Hall.
And I'm BT Bentley. Women of the 80s, a different breed, independent career.
You know this is old school when you get mono. Okay, I'm not used to this. I'm hearing the sound in one ear, so yeah, this is mono. So bear with it.
Minded and full of definite opinions on their counterparts.
Join BT, me, and an all-ladies audience for a discussion of women's views on men.
We'll find out what the women of today expect in dating and marital relationships.
How about sex and money and love? Which do women most value?
Psychologist Dr. Janice Stevenson will be joining us to help discuss these questions and more.
Join City Line for a discussion of women's views on men. Up next.
You got to remember this is back in 1986. Okay. This is almost 40 years ago, okay? It's 38 years ago, almost 40 years. Basically, this is 2 generations. Music was tight though. Yeah, they had real music back then, Art.
Good afternoon, and thanks for joining us for
Nice
this edition of City Line. Because it is a half-hour edition, we're going to jump right in and introduce our guest, Dr. Janice Stevenson. Thank you for being with us.
Glad to be here.
Now she was considered slightly overweight back then, right? You see how thin? Yes, see how thin this woman is, the host is, compared to this lady. Okay, this is considered small now. Okay, in '86, this was considered big as a big girl, and this was considered normal. Okay, this woman would be considered small. Okay, and this woman would be considered thin as sort of like a white man's woman.
Now I know there are a lot of ladies here going to be taking some pot shots, but let's see if we can define some of the discussion that we're going to be dealing with. When we talk about the women of the 80s, is there something radically different or new about them?
I think in some ways, women today are different in that they accept more parts of their personality. They don't limit themselves nearly as much as women of the 40s or the 50s did. They don't see their role.
Listen how they pronounce their words. Okay. A lot differently now, 30 years ago, almost 40 years ago.
As bound in by any parameters set by anyone other than themselves. And so they're willing to take more risks in relationships, in business, in child rearing. They're willing to negotiate more issues in their lives.
Okay. Well, what sorts of things are they saying about us men these days?
A lot. You men are in trouble.
Yeah, well, that portends to what we have been going on for the last 40 years. Okay. That was an understatement.
I knew it.
Some of the things that I hear women saying in my practice have to do with the expectations of that man carrying out his role in the home. Women are not going to be tolerant anymore of the assumption by men that when they come in from work and the man comes in from work, the man can sit down while they continue to work. So I hear many more women negotiating contracts with their husband for child care responsibilities, for example.
You can see negotiating a contract for child care responsibilities and housework, that kind of stuff, right? You thought this was in the 2000s, the 2010s, the 2020s. No, this shit was almost 40 years ago. In fact, this shit was started back in the 70s, in the late 70s, with colored girls and black macho. Okay, even at this stage, it's advanced. But you can hear a lot of stuff that we deal with right now just came out of her mouth. Okay, you could actually copy and paste what she said and copy and paste it on a TikTok or a psychologist today. They're saying the exact same shit. Okay, exact same shit. It ain't changed.
More men now are picking up the children from the daycare center. More men are taking off work when the children are sick. And the women have stronger statements to make about the role that their jobs play in their lives, and the expectation that they're supposed to be at work too, and they can bring home a paycheck equal to or more than the man's on some occasions.
And but the thing is, guess what? You 40 years later, they don't want to do that shit, right? Equal to or more than a man on some occasions, right? That, in other words, she's talking 50-50, okay? This 50-50 shit is not new. This 50-50 shit didn't start with the millennials or the Gen Zs. This 50-50 shit started with the boomers coming out of college, okay?
Now, when BT asked you a question about what are they saying about men, and you said men are in trouble.
We ain't hey D, we're not judging looks today, okay? So chill out. Chill out, okay? Don't get excited. I know you want to spam the comments. I know you want to get in, but calm down, all right?
But aren't relationships in trouble?
I think
Men and women getting it together and making a go of it.
I think the relationships are going to survive, but they're in a state of transition more so than being in trouble. While this redefinition of roles are taking place, the men.
Remember, I was telling you guys about when this arguments that I used to have with these psychologists and psychiatrists back in the late 80s, early 90s about the changing of roles and the redefinition of what they call gender roles or sex roles. Okay, I tell you, this shit is not new. That is something that women pushed. Okay, men didn't push this shit. Women pushed for this stuff. Black women ask for what they're getting. Okay. Now they want to play like, oh, you don't want to do 50-50s like grandpa did. Nah, bitch. You asked for this shit.
Men and the women are sometimes confused about where we want to go with this. How are we going to negotiate this contract? Will we be able to negotiate in a way that works for the survival of the relationship? And a lot of times men and women are willing to let go of the relationship rather than sacrifice or compromise the issues that are at hand.
Exactly. It wasn't us. It wasn't black men that started this shit and started the exiting the relationship because they couldn't get what they wanted. Black women did this shit. She's telling on herself. On GP, I appreciate your observation and wisdom. Very informative. Yeah, I've been telling you guys that, but this is out of their own mouths, okay? I tell you, black men will not believe a goddamn word you say until they see it out of a black woman's mouth, okay? Now you're hearing it straight from the source back almost 40 years ago. Right out the cut. This is the dawn of the modern woman. They can hear it.
But are men and women having these discussions in their relationships when a man and a woman get together and they've been seeing each other for a while? Are they beginning to discuss these kind of issues in terms of their relationship?
They're beginning to the ones that come into my office are discussing them using me as the referee and using the therapist as the referee sometimes for the discussion. So it is taking place in that arena. It's also taking place in other parts of the community. For example, churches now are more involved in pastoral counseling as a way to negotiate marriages. Couples are looking more toward working out some of these issues prior to marriage, for example. So the negotiating is going on.
Okay, well, before.
Yeah, like Mr. Z says, they want patriarchy with feminist specifications. That's what they want. They don't want equality. Okay. I said, black woman in charge, water runs uphill. Y'all ain't shit. Yeah, negotiate. Not just marriages, relationships. Okay, not just marriages, relationships, boyfriend and girlfriend.
Before we start allowing these ladies to take some pot shots, I'm not going to be a stationary target. So I'm going to get up and talk to the ladies in the audience.
And while you're doing that, we'll talk about you.
Okay.
Okay, now what part does sex play in all of this stuff, and how has that changed in the 80s, the
Well,
sex roles?
The male-female relationship is, for the most part, a sexual relationship.
Oh,
The purpose of the relationship traditionally has been procreation, which is the end result of the act of sex. So the relationship is defined by how the two people in it carry out their sexual identity. What risks are they willing to take? How do they define themselves? What are the limits of that relationship?
you know, those black women always go to sex, right? When it comes to relationship, right? First thing they goes to is not character, it's not family, it's sex, right?
However, that sensuality plays itself out in the relationship. These are the kinds of questions that get carried out now as a part of the sexuality of a relationship.
What kinds of problems do partners encounter as a result of the
Notice the word partners, okay? Notice the word partners. Partners is not new. Notice the word partners.
misuse of sex? I know some examples right now, of course I wouldn't name them on the air, of women who use sex, their sexual being to their own benefit. And then I know of men too, who use that to dominate women.
Now notice the terminology, right? It's women use sex to their own benefit, but men use sex to dominate women.
The kinds of issues that I'm hearing coming into the office have to do with women being sometimes afraid in that bedroom to ask for what it is that they want from their mate in the bedroom. I have several couples with whom I'm currently working who are struggling with the man's anger at the woman being assertive, for example, or aggressive in that relationship, or the woman struggling with guilt about that somehow or another she's doing something wrong or she's doing something inappropriate. Yet these same women will go out of that home into the business office and be very aggressive and very assertive as they carry out their business tasks. And then there's a conflict when they have to come back.
Oh, bingo. Bingo, like I said, ain't nothing new under the sun, right? Y'all think y'all just went through it, you know, with the millennials and the Gen Zs? Nope. Or even the Gen X, right? Boomers went through the same shit during this crossover phase, right? I went through the same shit. But BGS, you old man, you don't know what's going on out here in these streets. Bullshit, okay?
Back into the home with that.
Okay, now we're going to hear from the ladies themselves.
Yes, Jack, we have a question right here in the audience that deals with that very point.
I'd like to know how you've been dealing with Black men that have a problem dealing with professional Black women, and the fact that they feel very insecure in dealing with them and letting them be a whole total person.
Are you asking how I, as a woman, deal with it, or how I hear
Professionally,
it played out in my practice?
Yes. How do you counsel the men that come to you that you find that?
No, say counsel the men, okay, not counsel the women. Because you know what? Well, you know why? It's always you know why it's counsel the men.
I'm done with life, and it's all Jermaine's fault. It's always Jermaine's fault. I'm done.
Then it was always Jermaine's fault.
Have this problem.
Okay. What I'm hearing in the practice is that men are intimidated by a woman that they need to take a quieter position at their side. The women are not taking a quieter position. They're demanding their own structure. They're demanding that the man be quiet at their side.
Say it again, Black girl. Say it again, Black girl. What'd you say? Huh? I can't hear you.
Sometimes. And the men are angry about it, but the women are saying, that's your problem. I don't have to be.
Your problem. Why? Because what? What do we say?
I'm done with life, and it's all Jermaine's fault. It's always Jermaine's fault. I'm done.
It's always Jermaine's fault.
You're responsible for your anger. You're responsible to negotiate that anger with me. And between the two of us, we have to work together for the relationship to survive. And then what happens within the therapy hour is that we negotiate that. how he can work out his anger, how she can work out her anger, and how their hurt feelings can come together because of the bond that goes on between them, so the relationship can continue.
You know, that's a point that
Remember, the fact there was something, if I can find it, okay, Psych Hacks said the same thing about therapy. Therapy, the patient is not the man or the woman. Therapy is the relationship. The relationship itself is the patient. What she's saying is what he said some 40 years later. Okay? They want the relationship between these two people to survive.
that perhaps we need to explore a little bit further, only because Black women, for the most part, have not been homebound through the generations. And so that as we move up in the corporate structure, I'm sure that that's putting a lot of pressure on the relationships. But we're going to discuss that when we come back. But right now,
All right, y'all, put some spec on my like button, okay? I don't see no spec on my like button. Put some respect on my like button. Come on now. Got 300, almost 400 people watched. I only got 115 likes. Put some respect on my like button. Otherwise, man, I can go to the taco stand. Put some respect on my like button. Come on now. Put some respect on it. Y'all want me to continue and give this commentary? Put some respect on my like button. This is cutting edge shit, okay? All right.
we're going to take a break. So please stay with us for Women's Views on Men.
Ain't just the green sauce. You gotta have that pico de gallo, man. They don't, you know, I can't. You try to find good pico de gallo, but you have to go to a truck to get good pico de gallo, man. It has to go on your quesadilla or inside your burrito, man. You know, green sauce and good pico de gallo, you can't beat it, especially on a carne asada, uh, uh, a carne asada burrito or taco. Can't beat it.
Oh, we're back on City Line talking about women's views on men, and I'm going to throw it right quickly to BT in the audience.
Okay, Jackie, things are heating up already with this question, I'm sure. Go ahead.
Yes, I like to know why.
Peter Craig, guess what? They don't buy no man. If they wanted to buy a man, men would have no problem with it. They're not buying you. 50-50 is not buying a man, okay? You know, if they want to go 80-20 or 100, okay, that's buying a man, which they don't want to do because that's what they complain about. Because he ain't on my level. What's my obsession with Guatemala? What are you talking about? What's my obsession with Guatemala is basically they're nice people, and it's a nice, calm, relaxed country. You got to go there to find out, especially for an old guy. I wouldn't recommend it too much for young people because it's not enough going on. Say Colombia or Brazil is probably better, but for a guy like me that's over 50, Guatemala's the spot. If that's what you want to know about, I don't know. Have you been to Guatemala, wannabe mystic? If you haven't been there, what you commenting on it for? I'm talking about a taco truck. Okay, I don't know what you talk about Guatemala. You know, what's up with y'all today? Anyhow, continuing.
Or black men gravitating toward white
Ooh, here we
women. And I
go.
don't have any
White she-devil. Here we go.
real personal problem with that, but I just like to hear talked about more. Maybe I can become more comfortable with the whole issue.
In her Whitney Houston wig.
I think there are two answers to that, actually. One is the cultural answer to it. We're all socialized into a society, into the American society, that promotes this ideal white woman figure as the one to be sought after. And now with some release from some of the tenets of oppression in our society, men feel freer, and I hear black men saying this sometimes, they feel freer to pursue whatever's out there. And so they see themselves as pursuing a person, not a racial figure. and yet you'll find men who habitually pursue women who all are either very light skinned or white, or who
AKA there's colorism, but very light skin, which you are, sweetie.
carry on a lot of the physical characteristics that this ideal model is supposed to be. And the men won't define it as a racial issue, but I think it's hard to ignore the racial overtones. The other part of it, though, is the exercising of a freedom that's supposed to exist in our society to pick and choose whomever you wish as a partner. What part of the problem for the Black woman is that too many of our Black men are being channeled into self-destructive and socially unacceptable parts of our society. So
Here we go. Okay, with racism and the unacceptable men theory.
they're not as available for us. And then somehow or other, the Black woman does not seem to be as available to men of other races and other ethnic
In other words, you're not chosen. Stop with not available. Y'all bitches, y'all been available. Okay, y'all been available. They're not picking you.
groups. So it seems to be an imbalance in that pursuit.
It's called racial hypergamy, right there, in a nutshell.
What is this then going to do in terms of the choices of Black women, in terms of finding, in quotation marks, those good men?
Part of what it means is that the Black woman has to be real clear on what it is that she wants and what she defines as a good man, and then be as limitless as she can in the pursuit of that good man. One of the things that I hear, and this is coming from some of my work with adolescents, is that the adolescent female now is very aggressive in her pursuit of a male. And she does not limit herself by any boundaries at all. So if she sees a guy she wants, she goes and gets him. And she doesn't.
Yeah, but now, 40 years later, Simone Biles is being castigated for doing the exact same thing, right? For doing what her grandmother would have told her to do, okay? Because this woman would have been her grandmother. Age of Machine says, I remember this ish from 40 years ago and worked my John Q. High parts off to get away from it. Black women can't be reached, triggered, seeing it, no mention of what men want or apologizing to men for lacking. Yes, exactly. Continuing.
Doesn't care what his color is as long as he meets some criteria.
I see, there we go, the swirling
that she has. And women in the 20s, 30s, and 40-year age range are not being quite that aggressive. And so they sit waiting patiently for this good Black guy to come knock on the door and say, here I am. And he's busy out looking for somebody.
So the Gen X is, and she talked about the Gen X at this stage, right? The Gen X were actually more about swirling, about picking, the so-called opening up their options, okay? About being more aggressive. Gen X and millennials are actually more sexually aggressive than the boomers were. That is very true.
Adolescent is the woman of the year 2000.
Adolescent is the woman of the year 2000, and she is going to be something else.
Yeah, isn't she though? Okay, the adolescent of the 2000s, sexy red and their ilk, right? Aren't they though?
Should do another show on that.
Well, I'm going to stay out of this, but do have another question here. Yes, ma'am.
Hi, what do you suggest would be a good approach to stimulate conversation, positive conversation about sensitive subjects without irritating your mate?
I don't have any problem with irritating your mate.
See, told you. Now they don't. That's Black woman speaking, right? I have no problem with irritating his ass.
There's nothing wrong with him being irritated or stirred up. Are you asking me how to start the conversation?
Yes.
I would like to be able to talk with you about this topic. Can we sit and talk about it?
What subject do you have in mind?
Well, possibly if you're looking at where your relationship is going and what your future plans are, that's usually very sensitive for most men to deal with because they begin to feel pressure.
I think it's also sensitive for women to deal with too, because a lot of times I'll hear women talking about a struggle between the fantasy life that they have about where they think relationships should go, where Cinderella has said it should go, and where Sleeping Beauty has said it should go, versus what the realities of adult life say will happen to a relationship. And so it will require being willing to talk about intimacy, being willing to talk about anger, being willing to talk about selfishness, and whatever other issues are going to impact upon the maintenance of a relationship.
In other words, yeah, say it again, Black girl. Talk about reality instead of Cinderella and Sleeping Beauty and Disney. In fact, who was that? It was just that chick Jess that was actually on here, man. She was talking about where she gets her relationship advice from. from Disney, right? She wants a Disney lifestyle. She wants to be a Disney princess. And when she can't be a Disney princess, then they have to settle for reality, like everybody else. Okay, those are your cards.
Relationships take an awful lot of work, and I think sometimes we underestimate how much work it takes, and we're not willing to do it.
But women are more inclined to talk, are more inclined to reveal their feelings, whereas men in the past, it appears,
Bullshit.
has been trained to kind of guard feelings because it makes a stronger figure. How do you break through it?
I think part of what it means is that we as women have a responsibility then to teach them that it is okay to feel. Of a psychologist friend of mine who in his clinical practice with other men, particularly Black men, does what he calls education about feelings. And he will say to men sometimes, this is a feeling right here. See, you're feeling this right now. The name of this feeling is whatever it may be. So that they can learn that it's okay to feel them. They're not going to be destroyed by it. You're not going to consume them because they have these feelings. And we can actually negotiate and work out how to handle that feeling and still survive. You're not going to run out on them.
They're trying to retrain Black. What is it? They're trying to retrain men to think and feel more like women. Okay. They're trying to retrain men to be more like women. It's back then.
You're not going to beat them up.
Okay, we've got a call. Hi, you're on City Line. Do you have a question or a comment?
Yes, I have a comment. Hello?
Yes, please go ahead.
Oh, okay. I have a comment. I feel that a lot of men today get away from responsibilities to themselves, society. I have a lot of male friends, and a lot of them that are in relationships, they feel that they have no choice of being in a relationship. They were in the relationship because what the woman want, not what they want. A lot of them don't seem to have a sense of direction. Their goals are not clear, and this has a reflection on the relationship with women. And as far as women are concerned, I think women is not select in their choice of a mate, and they take a mate out of desperation.
Okay, hold on.
And take a mate out of desperation. In other words, I have to settle for what I can get, just like men have to.
Just a moment, we'll get an answer.
Okay.
It's an interesting comment that you make. I have colleagues of mine who speak about not being complete as a person without a relationship, that if they don't have a man by their side, or if they don't have an escort and a bedmate, then they have not succeeded as people in life. And this is regardless of education or vocation or financial resources, that without that man, they're nothing. And so then they go out pursuing men simply for the sake of having a man at their side.
Well, yeah, men do the same thing. It's called pussy, okay? And Black men are what? The garbage men of the dating world, okay? But we're not supposed to have standards. They are.
That's very scary, because then you don't know what it is you're looking for. You don't know when you find what is needed by you. You don't know if the relationship is healthy or unhealthy, and you don't know how to work to maintain the relationship. And so you take unnecessary risks that put you in danger in a relationship, and it becomes a real mess. And it becomes a lot of work to untangle yourself from that position. Part of being in a relationship means being responsible for the health of that relationship. Part of being responsible for that means knowing what it is that you want, what's good for you and what's not good for you, and being willing to be without a relationship while you wait for what you want.
There we go. What is it? Manifest and wait. And until you're 40, and then you like Ebony K. Williams, you have to take those shots and buy a dog. Okay. That's where this. You can hear where this is actually the beginning of where the shit that we are in comes from. I know you guys. I know you guys are tired of hearing it because you hear it every day now. But the thing is, this is the beginnings of it. Okay, this is 1986. This is not 2006 or 2016. This is 1986. This is new. Okay. This is new back then. This is the seeds of what we this big old rotten tree that we've grown over the past 40 years, right?
And that sometimes is real scary for a lot of us, both males and females. We aren't always willing to do that.
Okay, thank you for that call.
Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye. Again, we'll take a break and continue our discussion of women's views on men. Stay with us.
Now here's this week's community calendar.
Hello, my name is Maxine Cunningham. Freedom Chapter of the American Business Women's Association invites you to be a part of our annual Woman of the Year celebration on Sunday, March 16th at the La
Notice back then how they try to clean up that old Southern accent. Okay.
Fontainebleau, beginning at 3 p.m. There will be a special tribute to outstanding businesswomen. Catherine Pugh will be our guest speaker. For tickets and further information,
They're still doing the same stuff, man. What is wash, rinse, repeat? Okay, a lot of stuff that you see women doing nowadays. Okay, they haven't come up with anything new. They still doing the same kind of stuff, the same kind of talking points. Even this commercial, the same stuff that they're doing now. Ain't nothing changed. They haven't modified their position any. Same stuff.
call 235-1510.
Or call us for further information.
We're back on City Line discussing women's views on men, and I'm going to maintain my innocent observer role and allow this lady here to ask a question or comment.
Yes, I have a comment that I would like to make. And I would like to just say that I find in Black male and female relationships, we find some men, they're on, I feel like some kind of ego trip. And I don't know if it's because the women have let them become to the part where they feel that they can do what they want, and then they go right back to the women because the women they'll let them come back. You find that some women can be abused, and they act like they like it. I see people, and I wonder, well, where are your priorities? You know, when are you going to stop letting yourself be abused? I realize that we as women are queens, and we should carry ourselves in that manner.
You cannot make this shit up. 1986, right? You thought this queen stuff was new, right? You thought it was new, right?
And stop letting some of the men abuse us to the point that they have. Get ourselves together and realize that, hey, you're not going to treat me like this anymore. So therefore, I'm going to stop.
They have the same talking points 40 years later. This is not new, folks. This ain't new, okay? I keep telling you that this stuff is old, but you guys keep acting like this stuff just started yesterday. The same shit. This is almost 40 years old. Level up. Yep, exactly. Level up.
Excellent points. One is the issue about women being queens. There's several books out now in the field about how women in this society are socialized to be submissive, docile, passive, and to have great expertise at picking out men who will abuse and who will berate you and who will humiliate you, and that the women will participate very actively in those relationships by mislabeling the quality of the relationship. They will not label these men as dangerous or as hurtful. They will not label the relationships as dangerous. And so when they find themselves hurt, it's like, well, that was a fluke. He didn't really mean that. And when he comes back and says, oh, baby, I love you, it's going to be better the next time, let's go hop in the bed together, then she's saying, oh, he loves me.
Ike Turner, The Color Purple.
It's okay, it's real, and we're going to go into the sunset together. And that is a societal problem, not just of any one group, but a societal problem. Women have really got to treat themselves as queen. We are, and we have to start by believing it for ourselves first. Don't settle for less than what you want.
I know my worth, right? I know my worth. Find a man on my level. I'm a queen. I deserve to be worshipped, right?
Don't want garbage.
Oh, well, at least they said garbage instead of dusty, right? They traded dusties for garbage, right? So, and, you know, with that, on that note, let's do the dusty dance for that one, right? Don't want garbage, right? And there was a Dusty dance in that
Now, this whole idea, though, about men, but isn't it a part of the male attitude that we often see exhibited? Isn't that because they feel they're in the minority and they're sought after because there are many more women than there are men, and therefore I've got the pick of the lot?
one. In other words, basically, what you're saying is, it's called scarcity, right? The thing that is scarce is supposed to be the prize, but guess what women want? Okay, they want themselves to be the prize, even though they're looking for somebody like you, even a working man, right?
I think I hear that more so nowadays from Black men than any other group of men, especially the professional Black men who
The high value man, right?
say it quite that clearly. Well, I am an endangered species.
Yep.
Yes.
And so you had better take care of me
Yes.
because I can go get someone else.
Is
You're
that
replaceable.
what he said? High value men have what? Options, right?
And women do not really have to settle for that kind of attitude because I
Is go to settle shit, right?
am just as endangered as he is, and I am just as special as he is.
See. Well, then we're trying to be equal back then. Now they want to be superior.
Okay, let's try a call from home. Hi there, are you in touch with City Line?
Hello.
Yeah, oh, we have an endangered species on the line.
Uh-huh.
How are you? Go ahead.
Okay, first of all, I'd like to make a statement in regards to the question about Black men and white women. Okay, it needs to be understood before anything can be evaluated on that situation. That first of all, society develops as generations come along. Okay, and with this come different values. If society is pressed to destroy the problem of racism, so do some of the old values. Okay, I'm not saying that a Black man should prefer a white woman over a Black woman. I'm not saying a Black man should prefer a Black woman over a white woman. What I'm saying is that as society changes, so do values. And it's not just because a Black man he's scared of the Black woman's power, or he's scared of her ability to interact in society now. It's just that a Black man, because of society, because of his changes, men in particular, white men also in particular.
Okay, now you sound this sounds very intellectual and very philosophical. Now let's get to the real point. What do you think? What is your preference?
What is my preference?
Yes.
The way I was raised, the way I
Come on, man.
I prefer Black women. I am a Black man, and I prefer Black women.
Okay, how do you feel when you see Black men with white women?
How do I feel? The way I was raised, I feel why. Well, first of all, I'm gonna put it this way: when I see Black women with white men, that gets to me also because the way I was raised.
Okay.
It comes to mind as something that needs to be understood, and something that I myself have come to understand. The society is changing, and people are changing.
Okay. Well, great. Thank you. We're going to get some comments from Dr. Stevenson. Hold on a while.
Thank you.
Okay, I think
SYSBM, right?
the one comment I have is that the way in which I hear the changes in the society reflected by participants in this relationship is when I hear the other race member saying, I'm not seeking a racial member, I'm seeking a person who is my partner. And that partner is what's important to me. And so it doesn't make any difference to me what color they are. And yet you do see patterns of behavior set up over time that suggest that there are sociological issues being played out within this relationship, and that there are issues of the society.
It always is, even when you have two Black people together. Okay, socialization plays out.
Being played out within this relationship. I think we try to deny that sometimes. It's not scary.
Okay, thanks for the call.
You're welcome.
Okay, well, thank you, Dr. Stevenson, for being here with us today.
I enjoyed it.
My heavens, we didn't get to all of the issues that we could have discussed. We're going to have to do this again, and hopefully in a full hour. Thank you again. That's City Line today. I'm Jackie Hall. Goodbye.
All right. Basically, man, like I was saying, man, most of the tropes, even in the little 25 minutes that this show is actually on, right? A little 20 minutes that they went back and forth. You could hear all the tropes, man. the independent women, right? The negotiating. I want to be a queen, okay? The colorism. All that stuff comes up. This stuff is not new. This stuff is not new. These women have been trained to think this way. These chicks are not original. They're not. When the interracial dating and the swirling, open up your options, all that kind of shit. I heard that shit, man, almost 40 years ago. The same stuff. Okay, but they have a problem with black men being able to actually integrate into the society more easily than black women can. Why? Because for the most part, black women are at the bottom of the list. Black men are close to the middle of the pack, so they're more easily chosen by other groups. And plus, black men are actually taught to what? Since our society is flipped upside down. I didn't, at first when my mentor, she told me that, right? This is a mentor that counsels black women specifically, right? She said that black men and women are in reverse order to nature. She told me that. She told me that back in 2007. She said that. And she is conscious community, Pan-African, pro-black, and she's not a feminist because she says she don't deal with that feminist shit. Okay, and she's old school because she's in her mid-70s. She don't deal with that feminist shit. But the thing is, she's a staunch gynocrat. But she said that black men and women are in reverse order to nature, and it didn't just start yesterday. So when these women tell you that this is 2023 or 24 and we're not going to stand for this anymore, you can refer them back to this video. The shit didn't just start yesterday. This stuff has been passed down. Uh, first of all, it's not even from the boomers, right? Because where the boomers get that shit from? The boomer, like that lady that stood up, okay? She wasn't a boomer. The dark lady with the mole on her cheek, she wasn't a boomer, okay? That was a silent generation. Okay, she wasn't no goddamn boomer. They passed this stuff down to their daughters, and they stopped training their daughters to be wives. That's where it started because they didn't want to get tied up to a man the way that they were. Right? Get your education. Don't depend on no man. Don't concentrate on him, and don't get in the same position I am as a wife and mother because we see it as slavery. It's not new. It's not new. So if you guys got some questions real quick, I'll take a few questions from the chat before we get out of here. This is me punching the clock. I actually wanted to play this one. I thought it was a little bit longer. It wasn't as long as I thought. I probably could have commented on way more about this stuff than I could have, than I did actually. Because like I said, she's basically saying what I said, right? In the late 80s, early 90s, they started getting rid of the old, what we call gender roles, right? They actually negotiated for a 50-50, like out of her mouth, a 50-50 relationship. I want more power. I want to have more time at work. I want to bring home a check. I want you to help handle the bills and household work. And now they fucking complaining about it 40 years later because now they don't want to do that shit. You can't flip over a whole society and then 40 years later figure out, I don't want to play no more. It don't work that way. And I wish the government would make these chicks do their job, whether they like it or not. You got to marry this guy, even though you make 120, he only makes 50. This is the guy you got to marry because this is the guy that's going to keep the society running. If not, the society is going to come apart. That's how come your marriage rates are down. Okay, so far. Okay, this kind of independent thinking, this kind of stuff is actually what's killing your marriage rate. That's like when black women are married at 25%. Because they want shit their way and they have no clue or any idea what the man actually wants. And basically, I wonder if I can find this. Let me see if I can find it. By Taraban, when he talked about psychology. Because sometimes, You have to get some of this stuff from the white man. Okay. Okay. Sometimes you got to get some of this stuff from the white man. Let's see, sidecast. Let me go ahead and punch this in because he was actually saying the exact same. But the thing is, one thing he is willing to do. One thing he's willing to do is actually spit out the truth. He's willing to spit out the truth about psychiatry and stuff like that. There's a lot of stuff that psychiatrists really won't talk about. Let's see if I can find it about therapy. Let's see if I can put in therapy, see if he has it. Because he said couples therapy. Let's see if he has it. Okay, I think this is it. Let's see, present, share screen. I think this is where he said it.
Couples therapy often fail to appreciate is that in most couples therapy, the client is the relationship. The client is not the two individual people in the room. The client is the relationship between them. As such, the therapist is going to be advocating for the best interests of the relationship. So why is this problematic? Well, in the first place, it means that one or both of the parties might be supported to stay in a relationship with someone they absolutely have no business being in a relationship to begin with. A couples therapist is not going to turn to the man in the middle of a session and say, my dude, you need to get as far away from that woman as possible. By the same token, the therapist is not going to turn to the woman in the room and say, this guy is never going to commit to you, no matter what sacrifices you make for the relationship. If you want a family, you are wasting your time here. What many folks who
See, he said the exact same thing she said, right? Is that when they come in, her focus is on trying to patch up and keep the relationship together, right? So a lot of stuff that was said, that she said, is still being done, okay? Still being done. All right, y'all. See where my likes are. I want some. Okay, we're at 323. I'll accept that. I got 548 people watching. Okay. I got 323 on the likes. Hey, if y'all listening, man, okay, I'm punching the clock, man. At least you can do is punch the like button. Put some likes on my name, okay? Can you fix this rhetorical question? No, you cannot be fixed, sir. Sometimes there's too many holes in the boat. Black Dead's perspective. My question is how they're going to be queen when they don't carry themselves as queen, nor have a queendom to rule, nor servants to protect them. They sound like whining children. Okay, well, hey, Sexy Red is your new reigning queen, right? Okay. Charles with the $10 super chat. Can you be a gynocrat and not be a feminist? Yeah. The old gynocrats are not feminists. They believe in gynarchy. They believe in rule. They don't believe in this feminist shit. Okay. BGS Tax. Thanks, Ronan. Appreciate you. Pensive with the $4.99. Okay. Shook says, did black men really buy into this, though? No, they never really have. Okay. Black men have been trying to, they didn't really buy into it. What they're trying to do is put up with as much of it as they can until they got tired. And the thing is, black men had no room to speak out. We got ran over by the white feminists and the white infrastructure, and then they start sending your ass to jail. Okay, and they start teaching your boys bullshit. That's coming. Starts putting your boys in special education. Okay, maybe Princella can make them queens since she's the queen maker. Maybe so. Queen over who though? You don't have to be a king to be a queen. Feminists are supposed to be able to. Well, we know how far that went. Equality. There's no version of the narrative where black man is in charge of his home. It wasn't until BG spoke on that partner language that I got it. You could hear the partner language being put out, even though it wasn't as prevalent back then. You could hear them talk about partners, right? You could hear it. Donnie Mack a few years ago, before Sexuality, in her book, yeah, that's true. It was. That's probably why she wrote it, because the shit doesn't work. And now we know that shit doesn't work. Now what? So why are there so many simps in our community, Beach? Yes, it's called the Prussian school system. They taught you to be that way. They taught you to be a simp. Your mama, your aunties, your grandma, your female school teachers, okay? And then your female college professors and social media teaching you to be what? A simp. Otherwise, the shit will fall apart. If there wasn't no simps, this society would have fell apart years ago. You damn near killed this community. I think after I think it's a dead man walking. I think we've gone beyond a black gynocracy. I think we have a gynocracy in total. I think there's a white gynocracy. I really do. I need 22 more likes to get to 400, and I got 547 people watching. Come on, y'all, hit the like button. If you're not gonna donate money, donate a like, okay? Least you can do. And now the single baby mamas. There's always been single baby mamas. Really, and this is something that Dr. Gigi says, right? The single baby mamas, without really what it is having husbands without the paperwork. Okay. Okay. This is not polygyny. Okay. This is a polyandrous black society where they can actually practice serial monogamy. That's really what white women want, to have multiple partners all at one time, right? And have one central husband, right? Black women want to have multiple husbands, one at a time. So they go from man to man to man to man to man, right? And carry their children with them. That's their preferred method. You see that in Islam in Black Islam all the time, right? Where a woman will divorce a guy, carry her kids to the next guy. Okay, divorce that guy, carry her kids to the next guy, which is a problem. Is because in traditional Islam, okay, that woman has to leave her kids with the father. The father becomes a central figure. Okay, that is a real patriarchy. Okay, what we have here in the United States, I don't care what religion you practice, what you have is a gynocracy, is a matriarchy, a gynocracy, and with a pseudo patriarchy. Okay, I call Black Islam in the United States a pseudo patriarchy. Okay, has elements, has a coloring of it, but it's fundamentally, it's not a patriarchy. And I had, if you want to go back to it, I have a guy that's from Philadelphia that runs a mosque in Philly. He says the exact same shit. Okay, the exact same stuff. I can actually go back and review it. If anybody has any dispute about that, I can go out and point you to it. Okay, I can actually bring on Black, and Black Mind is in the Arabian coast right now, right? He's Islamic. He actually teaches over there. He's in a traditional Islamic society. I can actually bring him on. He can tell you the difference between Islam here and Islam over there. Okay, what we practice here is not traditional Islam. Is Islam with Black female characteristics? That's what it is. And there's only a few women that will actually legitimately practice traditional Islam in the United States. Okay, only a few. Most Black women don't. They like the coloring of it. They like some of the principles of it. But when it comes down to a rubber hits the road, where you have to leave those children with that man, with their father, and go someplace else and find you another husband, that's where they get off the boat. Oh no, my kids come with me. That is a matriarchy, sir, ma'am, all day long. Anyhow, the greatest battle the Black American male will ever have is the battle of destroying his winners. Exactly, and Chiron. Exactly. That's where we're trained. That's why I'm here. I'm not here to make a lot of money. I'm not here to disparage Black women. I'm here to show you what your programming is like, and where it comes from, and have you make a decision. If you want this stuff, hey, I have no problem with you getting what you want. But understand what it is. You're right about Sex and the City. I looked, it was written by 2 gay men and casted with women. Also, hey, 5 hey big head texts this week. I believe now. Okay.
What's up, boss? You believe now? You hold on. Oh no. Do you believe that? Huh? Oh no. Ah! Oh no. Come on. Do you believe?
Anyhow, any last questions? Okay. Any last questions? And I got a new one, right? Okay. This is my ending, right? Okay.
Good evening. Your time now is 10:52. I'm Jeanette Reyes. We told you at 7:52. I don't want to hold you. We told you at 8:52. Don't let me keep you. This just into our newsroom. You are not obligated to go to your place of residence as your final destination, but it certainly cannot be here.
All right. In other words, you ain't got to go home, but you got to get out of here. The key is the programming is SDT, and a tool of the social dominant disorder. Programming is the Prussian school system is the programming. Okay, some of that programming is innate. Okay, like hypergamy is innate. That is biological. I have to do a video on that. I said, BS, do you believe me from last night about the representation of freedom, unhinged and uncontrolled? Not really. Okay, I mean, in some parts, yes, we call negative liberty. But being unhinged, no, it's not quite unhinged. Okay, it's not quite unhinged. It's they're children. Okay, it's almost like Lord of the Flies. They're children acting out about something that they can't do, but they're not unhinged. Now, if you want to see unhinged, we ain't seen unhinged yet. Okay, this is not unhinged. There's still a modicum of control. Okay. All right, folks. That's my hour. This is me hitting the clock. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope this was rewarding. I hope that you guys learned something. And when you believe me that this is not new, okay? This is very old. I told you I argued this stuff when they were talking about destroying gender roles, okay? Sex roles back there, and actually making this negotiated shit, right? What she said, you have to negotiate your terms between 2 partners instead of the regimented roles of husband and wife. So that's what it is. And this is going on all over the world. So, okay, I will. I listened to some of it, as I was falling asleep. But I'm putting out a lot of fires right now. So, all right, folks.
Good evening. Your time now is 10:52. I'm Jeanette Reyes. We told you at 7:52. I don't want to hold you. We told you at 8:52. Don't let me keep you. This just into our newsroom. You are not obligated to go to your place of residence as your final destination, but it certainly cannot be here.
All right, folks. Peace out. We're going to get the Dusty Dance, and we're going to fade to black. Let me see. Hold on. Let me see if there's some cash apps. I don't want to leave anybody out. I appreciate all the dollars. Supreme Pivot, appreciate you for the cash app. $2 holler. Mr. Tolbert, appreciate you. And that is it. So Dusty's gonna take us out.